name is Makabelo Motaung. I also go by the name of Coach KB. I'm a social and dating coach and your host on this feature. This is a daily feature I run on my timeline, basically, where I talk to Black men from all different backgrounds about things that affect them and their outlook on life, dating, relationship, intimacy, religion, and much more. Basically, my hope is to create a space where men come and teach and learn and also be vulnerable. I think it's time the world listens to what Black men have to say. And my guest for today is Sammy Gee. I'm so happy to have you. I've been looking forward to this. Luckily, it's not really Sammy before I introduce. I think I met Sammy a few times. Maybe 4 or 5 times, I don't know. But every time I see Semi, there's Toto next to Semi. I have never seen Semi alone. And I wonder, what is Semi, do you go to the bathroom alone, honestly? I just
No.
love how you love your wife. I know me
Yeah.
around, so you should see the way you look at your wife. You are like a little
Is it?
boy smitten. And I'm like,
You're
yeah, but
kidding
it's been
me.
like married for years. What's this?
She's mature me. She's mature me.
I love it, man. So
Yeah.
introduce people, tell people about yourself, what you do, tell people anything that you feel like you want them to know about you. Just tell them.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, hi, beautiful people. Sammy G here. Where do I start with what I do? It's not the question who I am. It's what I do. First, I'm in the pharmaceutical industry. I work for an American-based company. I'm not gonna say the name. I worked as a key accounts manager. Of course, we're selling drugs. Yeah, I'm responsible for three provinces.
Awesome.
Yeah, and yeah, I studied biomedical technology, which really it's not me. Um, I am I'm really a person out there, not working in a laboratory one place from this time to that time. Then I get bored, so I don't like even referred to as a medical technologist. Um, on the side, I am pursuing my passion, and my passion is in the arts. I have a company called Word Based Productions. We are at the State Theatre. We are doing theater stuff. At the moment, we're working towards doing some film. I hope that comes to pass. I have my wife Toto, who is also my artist. She's an employee at Word Based Productions, so I signed her as my.
Just talk, say.
Oh, Barry, wait. So yeah, we were very successful with her debut album. It was in 2014. It's a gospel album. She was nominated at the Crown Gospel Awards. Yeah, that with just the first one, she did really well. And then yeah, I'm a speaker with her on a platform called A Couple of Things.
Tell
A
us
couple of
about a
things.
couple of things. I think it's important that people tell people about a couple of things.
Yeah, no, a couple of things. It's mainly about relationships, not only just marriage. We talk to different couples. Either we be invited as guests, or churches, different organizations, and we do one-on-one, like counseling, if I were to say, or coaching. But yeah, the center of a couple of things is just around relationships, making sure that we find joy in the relationships that we are in, and we are in relationships for the right reasons as well. Yeah, that's basically the
Yeah.
couple of things.
It's a lot, right, guys? It's a lot. But anyway, so today, Nalisimbi G, we are talking about love
Mhm.
because I just think he's getting this love thing right. And I'm sure he didn't always get it right, you know.
No, of
So,
course.
Arasharele di Tshwane. So, actually, maybe Machita by Zaman, come on, Clay. I need any tips. It's almost I get a sense that you are so fortunate as a black man if you have a right reference of a good man or a right reference of what love is. You're so fortunate, because
mm,
how that either with abusive fathers, absent fathers, or our fathers are dead. Like it's just so rare to have a good template of what a man should be as a man, and
yeah,
so I wanted to know, where did you get your template of what how you are supposed to be as a husband to your wife?
yeah. Look, of course, I come from a stable family. My dad, who is now late, and my mother. I would say that is my first point of reference when it comes to people who were in love. I have seen them, and I've seen both sides, or if not all sides, where they love each other and they express it, where they feel like they hate each other, or they feel like they can just storm out of the house, leave, and be somewhere alone. I've seen them in all spheres of life. But
Mm,
one thing, but one thing that would always come back is the force that they had of love, that you would tell even when they fight. But these are people who love one another even as they fight. And they were not playing something they were not. We saw everything. There were no way they would lie to us. We saw everything.
mm,
So even though I didn't really grow up a lot around the two of them, because both they were staying in Joburg and we were in Rustenburg, they would come over on weekends. But then there came a time where they retired and came back home, stayed together, and I continued experiencing their love. However, the society as well. Look, it spoke a lot to me. It has invested itself into me. Like subconsciously, there are things I learned as a man, which were right, which were wrong, and it had to come to a stage where myself, having been taught by the society the wrong things, that I realize certain things that I need to take out of my life because they were not relevant for my union with my
mm,
wife.
mm. Such as what? Like, what is it that is not relevant? What are some of the decisions you had to make that were not relevant to the type of husband you wanted to be and you had to let go of?
Yeah. One thing, let's start from beginning. When I met my wife, I met an adult,
Okay.
meaning I met someone who could reason for herself. I
Mm,
met someone who could make judgments by herself. I met someone who had to say, Sammy, I let you into my life or not. So she was boss of that area. So for me to
mm,
be in her life, it's because she allowed me to be in her life. So
mm.
now, normal men, I've realized that we still come into a woman's life, and the next thing you want to direct their lives the way in
As if
which
our
they should
Mr.
be,
Adult already,
as if you didn't meet an adult, as if you didn't meet someone
a
who is,
whole person.
yeah, she's self-dependent. It's not like she's dependent on me in having to make decisions in life. She makes decisions in life on her own. But then unfortunately, the what the society has taught men is that masculinity where we apply it wrongly, and you think by enforcing certain way of living is by showing who a man is, whereas a strong man is a man who is understanding, is a man who is considerate, is a man who acknowledges that he's got weaknesses, and the woman in their life can complement him in that area.
Or repeated
So
that thing. A strong man is.
a strong man is one who is considerate. It is one who realizes his weaknesses. It is one who is able to let the woman in his life to complement him so that he
Mm,
can look
mm.
strong out there.
I'm gonna drink
Uh,
to that. Or are you drinking? You're not drinking. I'm gonna drink to that. Eh?
okay, let me also drink to it.
I'm not amazing.
Very nice. Yes,
So
yeah.
yeah, no, I love what you say, and I'm gonna quote this because I think it's the quote of the day. Like I don't think you'll ever say anything better than what you've just said there. So we
Okay.
can close this interview. We're done.
Yes.
But tell me, Samia, how can, like, do you currently think that black men are appreciative of what black women bring as human beings to the table, or to the union, or to,
Mm. Look, in as much as I would want to be part and parcel of the development of our black brothers out there, especially when it comes to how to relate with the woman, I would still not want to make it a racial scenario.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, but then let's of course still stick to the fact that you're saying black men. Um, Actually, I'm looking at my other part of note. Now I forgot your question. You're saying how do we help our young brothers or black brothers and on loving women or appreciating women? Hello?
I think we lost you. Is it me or you?
I don't know. I didn't actually hear you as well. Yeah. Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
Askis, no, please. Yeah, no, perfectly. Please say that again.
Okay. No, I'm saying I'm not sure if I heard your question clearly in terms of you
Mm.
saying, are you saying our black brothers, are they appreciative of what the women bring to the table of love?
Look, yeah, I'm of the opinion, yeah, you know, uh, look, we bring different things, obviously, in a partnership, but I specifically think, as Black people, our experiences shape what we bring as a Black woman versus what a white woman would. But I wouldn't want to talk about the other race because I don't know their experience. Hence, my
Yeah.
focus is around, do you think Black men, modern Black men, are appreciative of what black women bring now, because I mean black women obviously bring a much more maybe stronger character, they bring
Mm,
aggressive nyana, e ba reng ke attitude. We bring a lot of
mm,
things that are just considered maybe wretched in the other race, or considered, I don't know, but I'm just saying, do you
mm,
think the modern black man is able to be appreciative of what a woman brings now, or is it a question ya hore we are too much? Are they complaining karuna? What is your field like when you speak to your peers and whatever? What is
mm. Yeah, it's both sides. It's both sides that I hear. I have guys who are my friends and speak on same tone, and we do meet other guys who would speak on a different tone.
mm,
Um, First, let me say, you know, I would speak for men in this area where men have a subconscious that has been taught how a man should be towards a woman. And they
mm,
have an expectation of how a woman should be towards a man, especially when you
mm,
say, this is my woman. And that in itself is what has destroyed our society a lot, especially in terms of love relationships. We are not in it for the right reasons, and you already describes an adult's way of doing things, whereas
mm,
the adult has to actually tell you who they are and then see if you fit in or you don't fit in.
mm,
But then we enforce ourselves even in relationships that shouldn't be, because you can
mm,
see clearly this person is contradicting the wishes you have about a woman, but you still come into that relationship. So at times
mm,
we are not honest to each other. We are not honest in our relationships from where to go. We are really not honest. But then how how to say this? Oh yeah. For me, what I always like saying to men is, the moment you classify your woman as a woman, if that becomes the first thing, then you are automatically giving away her authenticity as a person. Don't she is herself. She is not first a woman, because now if you classify her in general and you want to act towards her in a general approach, then you are going to have general problems. But if you are but then if you approach her as an individual, it means you are keen to understand who this individual person, how she wants to be treated, who she is, and then you relate exactly with that type of a person, not with a person called a woman. Because
Mm,
Mapule does not need certain things that Tsotso needs. Tsotso may not be a person who likes flowers, but then Mapule may need flowers.
mm,
So now, yeah, and even during our way of relating, you may find some women, they've got what we call masculine presenting. Like
mm,
they would do chores that look like men's chores because they have been described as men chores. So
mm,
now, when you don't appreciate the fact that that woman is the way she is, you would want to alter her. And the moment you alter her, then you are having a different person in the house. You are no
mm,
longer having the person that you met earlier on,
mm.
and you're going to have problems.
Yeah, no, I see where you're going with this. So would you say then our approach to partnership is what is a problem here? Our approach to coupling up, our approach to relationshiping is what is the problem here.
Yes,
But how do we fix that?
exactly what I just said.
Is it the men that
Come to,
must fix it? Is it me? Is it women that must fix it? I must go into a relationship with
if I were
what?
to,
And you,
yeah, I'm losing you.
I'm here.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you were saying?
So I was saying the way that we form a relationship, I think maybe it's
Mm,
the issue to even begin with. What is it that I
yeah.
must come with as a woman, and what is it that a man must come with for us to be a workable union, for us to be a good couple, for us to be an okay couple that
Mm,
can function well together, a functioning couple.
mm. I think we run too quickly to commitment.
Okay.
We we don't take time to just know each other nje, without
Mm,
any ulterior motives, like just meet a person, be friend with a person, see them first as an honest person. Because the minute you the type of a relationship, they model themselves according to that relationship.
mm,
So they already try to start with you as, oh, Kana, this is my boyfriend. Then they don't really approach you as a friend.
mm.
But then we already have committed into something that you don't even know anything about. And then while you have committed yourself in, certain things creep in and you start seeing someone as someone negative towards you. Whereas you could have seen those things earlier had you given it a time of learning.
Yeah, but also women have this thing, ya hore, what do you want us to be? What are you coming here? What are your intentions? We ask that question too early as well. What are your
Too
intentions?
early.
Motho o qeta ho kala o kopa di-number tsa hao and you're already asking why, what are your intentions? I don't think we also allow men to befriend us and know us. I think we want the
Yes,
assurity and the security too soon in a
too
relationship,
soon.
and but also I think that re kgathetse man Sammy, like re kgathetse. Like re baholo, re kgathetse, kgale re le single, re na le bana, like mjolo, you know, like no abuti, or it's ideal I don't know how other women feel about this, but in an ideal world, every man would
Mm,
be written hore, or o tlo ngwaistela 3 months of my life, or 7 years of my life, or because you move from relationship to relationship to relationship, and obviously you carry the experience, you carry it over and over. So when a man
mm.
comes to me and says, I would love to know you, like I feel like either o tlo njola, o tlo nyala, or just come with the
Yes.
intention uthi, but I haven't given the man this space to come and even be in a position where he wants to marry me. I think we are putting too much pressure on ourselves to, I don't know if it's the
Mm,
age thing,
mm.
to get the ring and let's get married
But
already. Like.
and as much as men have been taught by society how to behave as a man, women also suffer the same thing. They have been
Mm,
taught by society how to be a woman. Like you're saying,
mm,
questions like, okay, no, but why olemo o batlang? Are you here serious or not serious? That's a
mm.
very stupid question to ask, especially from inside. It's a question that I refer to as a desperate question. You shouldn't show
Yo,
yourself. it's a desperate question. You shouldn't come into a relationship showing that you are desperate, because that way you become a
Mm,
subject.
you
That way
become a
you become a
victim.
subject. You
Mm,
become a victim very easy. So now women don't show their strength and their position from onset, and they want, and later on they want to be treated different from how they came in. No, it can't work like that. From
mm,
onset, yeah, show as well that you are responsible for every decision that you make in life as a woman.
mm,
If
mm.
you meet a man today and the very same day you sleep with that man, don't don't come tomorrow and say that man used you. Used you how? How did that
Or
man
be
use you?
surprised he didn't call. Be ready. You know, I always say with this thing, yeah, okay, never sleep with a man on the same day unless you are prepared. If he doesn't call you, your life will still move on. You will not cry. You will not worry whether he calls
Mhm.
or not the next day. You're okay. Then
Yes.
be an adult about that. You know, we live in
Yes.
a world where the government says we have human rights, we have rights, and part of the rights that
Mhm.
we have is deciding on who we have consensual sex with. You know, so by all
Yes.
means, if
Yes.
you think you are capable of meeting with a guy today and sleeping with him today, and whether he calls you or not. But if it's gonna break you, whether he called you or not, don't even try. You're not ready. It's a clear sign, yeah, okay, you're not even ready
You are
to
not
be
ready.
intimate with this person. You know.
I agree. I
Hmm.
agree definitely. And I would say to women, they must take accountability of every decision that they make. Don't make it a man's responsibility that you agreed to be in a relationship with him. It's the man is not a prophet. He doesn't know the future. All he knows is what he's seeing at that time. So
Hmm.
now what he feels and what he wants is at that time. But how
Hmm.
tomorrow turns out, we don't know. Maybe
We don't know.
something of your past may just destroy the relationship. It could be something that, oh no, if your family is this way, hey, I don't think I'm prepared to be part of that type of a family, and the man
Hmm.
might leave. And it's not
Hmm.
he's not wrong. It's not wrong.
Hmm.
There is what I'm saying. Why are we in a rush when we get into dates? Can you just make an innocent date with a man, go out, don't commit to anything?
Don't make plans because now when you take me on a date, I'm already planning my wedding day. Kuyadlala.
Yo.
It's interesting. I would say we should say that we have a comment from Violet, who's gonna be my guest, by the way, guys, in one of
Okay.
these weeks. Um,
Yeah.
Oriana, big issue is people are dealing with past bad experiences, be it previous relationships or background. If you don't deal with that, Aru, you know, you're just in trouble. You know. So
Mm.
what about our backgrounds makes us worst people to be in marriage with? Is it our fault? Number one, our background obviously is not our fault. I mean, childhood here, how is wrong, traumatic wrong, it's not your fault. But as an
Mm.
adult, when should people take accountability? Kore, what should you have cleaned from your background by the time you get in a stable relationship that could probably lead to marriage?
What is the question? I didn't get it.
Okay, maybe ke network yak. I was saying, Hore, based on
Yeah,
this comment, yeah, Vuyolethu, about people bringing in issues from the past, whether
from the
it's
past.
from past relationships or just generally the background that we have. I mean, we all have our own traumas. So can you imagine
Mm.
trauma plus trauma coming together? You know,
Mm.
at
Mm.
what point do we get the trauma out of the way? At what point do we get the past out of the way? And how do we say wait again? You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And let us be fair. Let us be fair here. You you come with your trauma that I have no knowledge about.
Mm,
All I see is this person, not the trauma. But
mm,
then you come into a relationship where now you're aware that you've got trauma. Now I'm not aware. So now I'm only going to entertain what's good for the relationship. But then if you come and you still have trauma, it means that's where I'm saying you are actually cheating in a relationship.
mm.
You bring in an element that shows that you are not yet prepared for this relationship, but you say you are prepared.
How
I don't know if you get what I'm
I
saying.
get what you're saying, but at the same time, some traumas are only triggered in the relationship. I don't know I have this trauma.
Mhm.
Do you
Yeah.
understand? I
Mhm.
don't know I have this issue
Yeah.
until I'm in a relationship with you specifically. you know,
Yes.
with a relationship with you specifically. So, okay, now I'm diverting from the
Look.
issue. I'm diverting from the topic. Serile got topic in Egu. I wanted us to talk about good things today. I wanted us to talk about
Okay.
love.
Okay.
I wanted us to talk about
Okay.
flowers. I wanted us to talk about romance, chivalry. I wanted us to talk,
Mm-hmm.
so bringing back that spark, especially in a relationship. I coach a lot of women, eh? And one of the big
Okay.
questions that I'm always getting is how women are always thinking they need to be responsible for bringing in the spark. How do I keep the spark? How do I keep this man? How do I make this man stay?
Mm-hmm.
How do I make this man good? Like? How do I give him the best sex of his life? How do I make myself stand out? How do I? Women are so
Mm-hmm.
invested in being the best, but not for
Mm.
themselves, for the man. And so I
Yeah.
want to know how invested are men in making relationships work, in creating the intimacy again, in creating the spark again.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. Look. It takes two to tango. It's that statement on its own. It speaks a lot. Uh, look. The woman shouldn't be the only one who is making sure that she's on point. The man has to be on point too. Because if we leave it to women, it means women become slaves in a relationship because they see themselves as the only ones who need change, not men. And that also it's patriarchal type of relationship, and you don't want that. You don't want
Mm,
a space where a man is always the one who's attended to. My feelings are not the most important, but then
mm,
the feelings of both of us needs to be addressed very well. Look, for it's I wouldn't at all say it is the responsibility of women that there's a spark always in the house. They speak reality now. I'm really married to, if not the only beautiful woman in the world, maybe, yeah. um
okay, I'm here.
my
I'm
my my
okay.
wife, my wife. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That is, yeah. Maybe let me stick to saying she's the only one beautiful. Yeah, really. Sometimes
No, I
I would
understand
even ask myself, how can God be so ruthless? I mean, and
how
give
make
other men
Toto
the rest
beautiful
and
and the
give
rest.
me the best.
How you know God made Toto,
Yeah,
she's beautiful, and made the rest of us. I
and then
was
she made the rest. You know what I
Toto, just
mean?
as
Yeah.
a side note. Toto, just as a side note, can I please have whatever you're giving this man? And they gave us like a 5 kgs, please.
Yeah, look, it's factual. When I saw her, and even today, my wife looks beautiful, and
She
and
is
I,
stunning,
I,
guys.
I and I must say, I would say it was by grace that I really met the type of person and the type of woman she is. But then, even in the midst of that, there were times where making love to my wife was just automatic. It was something I would not apply for.
Mm,
I would just look at her and we will just go for it. But
mm.
then there comes, let me tell you, we have been married for now 18 years.
Wow.
Um, 1 8 this year, yeah.
A
And we are
whole
together
human
as
being, a
that's
whole
that's
adult.
that's an adult.
Mm,
So yeah, 18 years in marriage, and we had our ups and downs, even when it comes to our sexual relationship. Um, it is there comes a time where it doesn't take any effort, and there comes a time where I really have to psych myself so that when I see her, then I everything is on point. But I have to
mm,
work that thing out,
mm,
and I would even feel like maybe there's something wrong with me. And you find that you want some stuff from the pharmacy that can boost you and blah blah.
mm,
That is present in my relationship with her. But then for us to be optimal when it comes to our sexual relationship,
mm,
we both have to be aware of our weaknesses or things that trouble us, because sex is a mental act.
mm,
If your mind is not ready, forget it.
mm,
like forget it.
mm.
And now it may not only be according to how we look, it could just be how we are thinking
Yeah.
of each other.
Mm,
Certain things, yeah, certain things needs to be taken out of the way. If it's a grudge that we have, maybe we need to deal with it, that we be happy so that when we look at each other, the blood can run as it should.
mm,
So the problem is not with the woman, but at the same time, women really need to look good for their husband. You shouldn't just look good for looking good. You should be aware that this is how I know my husband will also like it,
mm,
because you are married to him
mm,
anyway. But even if it's your boyfriend, you should know what really ticks him. If
mm.
he likes you in dresses and stuff, why do you wear stuff that it's not going to make him really be happy?
I would say, what are you guys doing to make us also excited to see you and excited to, because we also need to be excitable. We also need to,
Mm,
you know. So Lilo Naleta, I mean, we go and buy sexy lingeries, we invest in sexy lingeries, we go get waxes. Even though we couldn't say, we go and
mhm,
smell good, we go and do our hair. It's all for you. The nails,
mm, mm,
we go
mm,
all out
mm.
just for a man's approval and attention, but not just for a man's approval, for us too. But also a big part
Yes, yes.
of what we're trying to package is to look up, to
Appealing,
look
appealing.
beautiful, appealing,
Yes.
basically. Yes,
Mm,
to you.
mm,
What is
mm,
it that men do to? But also ba batho ba reka, the vibrator, bana ba batho ba reka, they are always looking
mm,
for ways to please the husband. And I think we're so over invested in that I wonder if
mm.
men also do the same. Do they put in
Yeah.
that much effort into pleasing us as women, whether it's the way they look, whether it's sexually, whether I think women are under enormous pressure to just keep the household
Mm.
happy, you know?
Yeah. And I can tell you, a lot of those who have put themselves under that pressure, they haven't really studied what their partners want. You find that they want things that general men want out there, not what your partner wants.
Mm. Now,
Like for
now you're
me,
saying something else.
yeah, for me, I have to know what Toto wants. Not okay, I know women like hefty guys or the beards must be shit. No, that's not the point. The point is, how does Toto like seeing me? And if I can just keep myself that way, then I'm done. Well, I mean,
Yeah, and
that's
what's
only one
important
woman.
is keeping Toto happy. It's not keeping the world happy,
Exactly.
right? I get you.
Exactly.
So
Yes,
why do
that's
we
all.
do this to ourselves as women?
Ask your man, what does your man, unless you've got 20 of men, and it's not wrong if you are able to take care of that type of life, that's okay. But the 20 of them, you must make sure you satisfy them the same way. It's 20 way of think 20 different way of thinking, isn't it?
There's no
So
standard.
exactly, you have to keep at it. If you have one, ask the very one what he wants and keep at it.
Mm.
And
And
keep at
how
it.
yeah, and what's been your role as a man who's been married 18 years in keeping things going, in keeping the relationship this long? What's been your role as a man?
Yeah. Okay.
How have you contributed to the relationship now being 18 years?
Mm. My wife is an individual. She is not me. She is herself, and I acknowledge who she is, her capabilities, without me trying to change them. Let's say if I were to become a pastor, my wife is not gonna be Mamuruti. That's not her. She will have
Mm,
to identify who she is and be that which she is.
mm.
Um, I appreciate who she is, and I always try by all means to make sure that her space is catered for. And and in that way, allowing her be who she is, she becomes a happy person who gives out the same energy towards me, and hence I'm forever or most of the time happy in a relationship because I'm making her happy.
So your role in this 18 years has just been to make Toto happy, nothing else. As a husband, your
Allow,
role has been make the
yeah, in a
woman
sense,
happy.
yeah, like in a sense of Look, I Toto in a relationship, she's a partner. She is not as as subordinate. She's not submissive to me unless I'm submissive to her as well. Toto, she is one next to my side. We are on each other's sides to run the relationship that we have. She's responsible on the other side. I'm responsible on the other side. Um, Look, there is this notion of saying men are heads. Yes, it's a
At
nice
the
thing
head.
to be called.
Mm,
You are the head, yeah, but I can't tell you what it actually means, especially in this day and age where she goes out to work. She comes back with the bacon. I go to work. I come back with the bacon. We bring it home. When we get home, do I sit on a sofa and be like a man, an ordinary man? And then she's going to be the one who is cooking. What else do I do when I also come back home?
mm,
Are we carrying this together? Because let me tell you, if I'm not making sure that she does what she has to do and I do what I have to do in complementing each other, it means I'm going to find her worn out. She will be
mm,
wrinkled very soon. She will look old very soon, and I will start looking for many other out there.
mm. Because you haven't played your full
I
role, which is, you know,
Yes, she will
I get
get tired.
that. I really get
Yeah.
that. So, what would you say, Semi, would you say the role of a man has changed now than maybe, I don't know, the last 2 decades? You know, men only, their only role probably had to be to bring the bacon. And now we are saying, men, over and above bringing the bacon, we also now want you to contribute. We also, so would you say the role of a husband has somehow, it's always changing, or would you, what is it, consistent?
Mm.
Is it?
Yeah, look, things have changed. And unfortunately, in our relationships, you find that the way in which we relate, it's not evolving, but time is evolving.
Mm,
Hello, you know,
yeah.
things are evolving, yeah, but we want to keep at the same way. The status quo doesn't change, but you can see a lot of things are evolving. Now women do the same things that men do. They go and do an engineering course. They come, they are qualified, they go, they work, they earn a lot of money. They can buy a house themselves, they can buy a car, they can look after a family. But then now you still want to keep at it that you are the head of what? Like head of what really?
Head
And
of the house, like it's the house and then the head.
yeah, in which sense? Which is what I want to. Even now, I don't have an
So
explanation
you
of
are not
such.
the head of the house, winner,
I'm a partner with Toto. I'm just a partner with Toto.
is it?
Yeah, look, no, I don't look. I need a
Do
man,
you
an
think that
older
makes you
man.
less of a man being an equal contributing partner? Do you think not overpowering Toto makes you less of a man, or
No, if she were to leave me and she gets another man, she will come back quickly. I, I am not less of a man just because of uh, those things don't make me. I am me without those things. It's as much as if I were to become and go to school and be a doctor. The fact that now I'm called a doctor does not make me. I'm not like a doctor. I still remain me, being a doctor or not being a doctor.
mm,
So in the house, I know what I'm supposed, the role that I need to play. I need to see to it my kids are raised well. I need to see to it that my wife and I live very well. And it is my contribution that speaks to that. So if my contribution is negative, everyone will even see out there that this man is not having a good relationship. But
mm,
all I do in my life is to partner with Toto, not how another man is partnering with the other woman out there.
mm,
It's none of my business how they
how
relate. It
they
has
partner
nothing to do.
together?
It,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with me. All that has everything to do with me is whether Toto is happy with this union, my kids are
Mm,
in a good space. That's all
mm,
that concerns me.
You know,
That
it's the
that's
same
all that.
thing. Yeah, no, I get, and I really get what you're saying. Where it's the same thing as we get in a car really too, ne? Just because
Mm.
I'm driving doesn't mean that I know where we're going. For where now you could be on the
Mhm.
passenger seat
I
and
like it.
then, oh, I know the wrong destination, you know. And so
Yes.
that's how I've always seen maybe a
Wow.
leader in a relationship. Hore, I might be in the forefront of the relationship, but you carry the goal of where we're going. And it doesn't mean
Yes.
that because now I am driving that I'm above you or anything. You know where we're going. I don't even know. You tell me turn left here, I turn left here, you know? And
Exactly.
quite not about Orisa guy, you know? And
Yeah.
so I'm very appreciative of the fact that that's how you see your role is. It's very uncommon, I must tell you. And a lot of us will struggle with your idea of the head of the family. We grew up being taught who head of
Mm,
the family, monna ke eng. And so my next question to you is, you know how women before they get married, they are groomed into what a wife is. How should we be
mm.
grooming our future husbands? How should the future husbands, black husbands, be groomed into being husbands?
Exactly. The point is only one, or the only word that always come to my mind is if you can respect the woman, then you are prepared to take a woman along in a relationship of marriage. If you can respect a woman, because look, what I would tell young men is when you meet a woman, you are meeting someone who comes with a talent or talents.
Mm,
And if you are going to make her submissive to you and you look like that head and you crush all her talents and dreams, you are denying yourself of other opportunities you could have let into the house. Remember, every household, we need streams of income. Your wife could be the very same element that brings streams of income into there. But because of our pride, you will think you are less of a man when you have married a woman like that.
mm. So,
So,
meaning you don't use her full capability as a human being.
mm, mm, mm. all all we need to do, respect means acknowledge who this person is and make sure they flourish in their space as a human being, not because she's just a woman, who she is.
Mm. Okay, I hear you. Sammy, what are men battling to say in marriage or in relationships? What is the honest truth that men are battling to come out with and own about relationships?
What a question. I didn't expect that.
I know.
Uh, I didn't
Hi,
expect that.
take a sip of, let's take a sip of something to drink.
Yeah, maybe I should think, because also I don't want to answer for the sake of giving an answer.
No pressure.
What is it that they're struggling
To say
to say
in
in
relationships,
relationships?
that's gonna help them. What is it that I just
Mm,
feel like black men struggle to say what they must say in relationships. And I
yeah,
don't know if because they don't feel safe to say it, or if they feel like some things are offensive to say, or if they feel saying them
mm,
belittles their image. I just think
yeah.
there's a lot that men are not saying in relationships that they should be saying, you know?
Mm. I look, in as much as I always don't like addressing matters as in general, but
Yeah.
yeah, but the common thing that I know about men is that we're not easy to speak our weaknesses. Women are easy to break down and tell you where they are failing, but
Mm,
it is difficult for men to come out and speak such and address such about themselves, their weaknesses. And yeah, so that is one thing that comes to my mind that I know most times we
mm,
struggle with. Yeah, to tell our weaknesses so that the partner can be able to help us in that area. But we always want to come out strong because we
mm,
think men we think strength is a sign of being a man,
mm.
whereas strength is being who you are. And the minute you acknowledge, hello, Toto, she just came back home.
Can people see this Toto that we're talking about? Can Toto come say hi?
Yeah, she she ran back. Sweetie,
That's okay.
Tlhakang.
Say hi before.
Tlhaka- So yeah, like I think men, we are difficult just to speak our weaknesses and address them with our partners. Uh,
Hi, Toto. There's Toto.
Hello.
Re batla lebitso la
What?
hosa hosa e wetsang Sammy, please.
Oh, please. There's no such. He just decided he wants to be Draktasen.
No, re batla ene re kopa o re rekisetse yona, please. We mixe hantle ne. We taking orders. I'm representing you here. We're taking orders. If you want this Korobela, people must contact me.
I think you are giving me good business ideas. Who would say no to that?
Thank you, but this is not about you. This is about Sammy. Thank you.
Yes,
Bye.
yes, yes. Bye bye.
Okay.
yeah.
I love it. Now, okay, how can you
No.
say no to that?
Yeah, that's really what comes to my mind. The part of being unable to speak our weaknesses, where we are
Yeah, no.
failing. Yeah, where we
Mm.
are failing, that we can ask for help. I think that's mostly, yeah, something that we struggle with.
How did you get it right as a husband?
It's it's at that, and this thing didn't just come really like it's not like I was born that way, maybe. I think it's with my interaction with the type of friends I have, men friends, where there were certain things that we started questioning, in as much as we questioned about the religion, culture, and certain things as we brought them to table, we realized that look, here and there, so that Joe, for you and your wife be successful, I think you need to omit this thing and stop addressing her like you are addressing any other woman out there, and don't compare your wife to my wife. Like we address stuff like that. Your wife is your wife. If she's somebody who loves cooking, let it be. If she's someone who loves cutting the grass out, let her be. And we help each other with that. So I think I grew in a space where I had to be meekable, like someone who's teachable. I was taught as well as I could see say, how other men would practice the way in which they love their wives or their
Mm,
partners. Yeah.
mm. Would you say, Sammy, it's important for men to associate with men who can groom them? Would you say it's important? Because what I'm seeing as well is a lot of men don't have spaces where they can go and say, I don't know how to relationship,
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
struggling to just even make, I'm struggling to even make decisions in a relationship. I'm struggling to find a relationship that I like. Ubona monna a jotse le batho ba 300. That's not normal. I know we are liberated and whatever, and Majita, yes, the more you have, the more of a man you are. But
Mm.
to go, is it important for men to surround themselves? Because you made mention, Yahore, what helped me be the husband that I am today was surrounding myself with men that help me where we discuss these things, where we discuss our challenges and we share ideas on how to be better people and husbands. Would you say those spaces are important for people, for men
Yeah,
to
yeah. It actually speaks of what your subconscious has received. Your fellowship in life is important. I would say, show me your friends or your association. I will show you your future.
that's it.
Yeah, your environment is important. Like a tree that is planted by the riverside, that environment for the tree is conducive. So you
Mm,
can't be in a space of wrong people who speak negative all the time and think you're going to be a man who thinks positive. No,
mm, mm.
no.
So
Somehow it's gonna affect you. Yeah.
somebody else, yeah. No, definitely. This has been very interesting. We have 10 minutes to wrap up.
You
I don't
already.
know if you yeah, no. Re bua ho, like ke re, tso, 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 tso. Ke na le bona wa
Yeah.
mpona. Ke na le bona ne? So,
Yes.
I mean, in wrapping up, what I've already introduced the space again, saying more. Now, what would you say people must be open to learning about being a man before? If a man says to you, "Atla ho wena now," and say, you know what? I think I'm ready to be a man now. I've been a boy. I'm ready to be a man. I'm ready to be a husband. What are the things that they must take into consideration to know that they're ready to bring somebody else into their space as a husband? What are some of the
Yeah.
checklists for a man?
Mm, mm. For a man is get in the space of a relationship knowing that you are not perfect. You need a helper.
Mm,
You need someone who will make you better. And if you decide and you are 40 years old, you meet an 18-year-old girl, you have just made the decision that an 18-year-old girl will be able to help you think on matters that are tough going forward. And you must accept her as a partner, not a subordinate, just because of age.
mm,
So your relationship, you are bringing someone. It's more like in a company, someone who will help you decide for the betterment of that company, how that company can grow and become a force to be reckoned with. It's important who you bring into the company. So now you brought this type of a woman, then that woman, her talents and her potential must be seen. Don't consume the woman. Make her
mm,
visible. I was making an illustration at this wedding, and I took two different types of soil. One blue, the other one was red. And when you mix them together, you still see particles of blue, particles of red, which is how every relationship must be. You shouldn't just see blue in a relationship. You must see blue and red because there are two people in there. But at times, we fail because we dominate our wives. We make them dormant. We make them not functional. They are not seen. It's all us. That is why when I become a pastor, you will hear of Mamuruti. But when a woman becomes a pastor, you don't hear of Ramuruti because men
mm,
know their place. You never hear
mm,
of such. So women must also not love certain things just because of they are married to such a person. If you are
mm,
not a Mamuruti in you, stay back. Don't
mm,
be a Mamuruti. But men as
mm,
well should not pull women into positions that women cannot fit in just because she is your wife. No,
mm,
let the woman be who she is to you.
mm. And that's how you get it right?
Yes.
Do you have any last words for anyone, a black man out there or whatever? Do you have any words? I mean, I'm wrapping up now. Rekadile, really,
Mhm.
you've said a mouthful. If I ask you any more questions, ke tla be ke le greedy, you've given me more than I wanted out of this interview, and I'm so grateful for that. But do you have any how do we get loving? How do we get back to the love? How do we get back to loving each other and not necessarily using each other or wasting each other's time when we
Yeah.
come into relationships?
Yeah. Number one, not every relationship that you start has to end as a marriage or rather end in marriage.
Mm,
We come to meet people in lives to propel us to the next stage of understanding in life. So you could
mm,
meet someone you are in a relationship with. Don't decide this relationship is taking us already to marriage. It may not, but that person is there for a particular reason for whatever period of time. So if that time has lapsed and you move on into another chapter, don't say you have wasted time. No, there's something that you have gained during that relationship, but
mm,
move on and look forward. That's it.
mm,
And
mm,
secondly, as well, are you in charge and responsible of decisions? Kraya, be in charge and responsible for decisions that you make in life. Don't assume that the next person understands your language. You must make sure you are understood. That
mm,
way, you will be able to move on with the person you are involved with.
mm. So be able to teach people about you so that people can
About you.
understand you. If you're not able to
Yeah.
even teach people about you, how can anyone really understand you? If you're not able to
Yes.
even say, "This is what I want," you're not able to own up to your needs and wants. You're not able to own up to.
Yes. No, true,
I
my dear.
hear you. You have a
Teach
comment
people
here.
who. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
no, definitely. You have a comment here that says, I love this guest. I get what you're saying very well, and you're very matured. Hey, yeah,
Mm.
ne, Ale.
Mm. Mm. Okay.
The standards.
Okay. Ke mang yena? Is she a lady? Maybe re ka tswanyana mo lockdown.
No, 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 no. If anyone sees you without so we are killing that person. There's no talking about this or discussing this. If anyone out there sees
Yes.
me with anyone else but so give me a call. I'm ready. I'm ready to take that person down. It's
No, of
it's been
course.
such
Yeah.
an
No, I
honor.
appreciate.
I would
Mm.
say you've said a mouthful. I think you are dynamic. Gore, you are a force to
Mm.
be reckoned with, and you do it so calmly. You know, you've got such an aura of honesty. You've got such an air of honesty about you. You can say your
Thank you.
point without being loud, and you can say your point, and there's no question about it, Hore. You are definitely a husband goals, as they say. You know, you and Soso are just relationship goals, and yeah, no, all
Mhm.
the best with you both. We are definitely supporting you guys, and are supporting your
Yeah.
passions as well. Uh, yeah, no, we are learning. So
Yeah.
I'm signing out. Sammy G, do you have any last words to say?
For me,
Where can people
thanks.
find you? Where can people find out more about what you do? I mean, I know you guys have a couple of things. How do people
Mm.
join your space, and other men? How do they find you to teach them? You know.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I know I can share my number, but at the same time, we are on Facebook with a couple of things. It's a couple of things. A couple of things underscore SA on Instagram, and you find us on YouTube. You find us as well on Facebook. So yeah, I don't know if I should leave my number or what. I don't know,
You know
but
what
that's
I'll
the
do,
space you can find.
Abdisemine? Yeah,
Hmm.
Abdisemi, I'll get your details on inbox, and then when I send out on my timeline, I'll include your details as well. But just some of
Okay.
the few other comments that you're getting before you go, because I wanted to take an
Mm,
image of this as well. Somebody
okay.
says, Fortune Ario, we learn every day, and I assume they've also gotten the most out of this as well. And we have Umbali saying, I am blown away. And we have more comments. Are you able to read the comments? You're not able to read the comments, ne?
It's yeah, I can only see the people who are not necessarily just the number of the people who are in. Yeah, but the comments I can see.
Oh, oh,
Mm,
okay.
unless
So you
unless maybe
some comments.
oh no, I can't see.
You can't see anything. All
Hello?
right. Thank you. No, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. No, thank you for the platform. Thank you for inviting me, having me. Beautiful. And
Yeah.
thanks to yeah, everyone who listened. They must pray for us, man. Marriage, it becomes simple when we
Does it
become
get
simple.
easier? Does it get
Hmm?
easier though? I mean, 18 years later, does it get easier?
I think we're becoming more of friends as even.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I'm not bored coming home. She's not bored coming home. I hope so. I hope she's not bored.
She
Uh,
didn't look bored to me.
I happen. Yeah, no, but really, yeah, it's we're just becoming too close to a point. It's like now she's my sister, which is very dangerous. But yeah, it's becoming simpler. We still fight, though. We still fight small things. You would wonder, oh man, we really did we fight about that? And we do fight. Yeah, we do
Yeah,
fight. Yeah. There are days
yeah, no, I
where
definitely.
I would want to sleep in a different room. I don't want the same way it goes with her.
It's
But
life.
yeah,
It's the reality of it. Yeah.
yeah,
And this is
yeah.
what
But us,
relationship goals should be about. The reality of it. Not already the matching outfits and that's where it ends. The goal here is
oh
that
no,
you
no.
guys struggle, but you still keep coming back to each other, you know?
Ish, yeah, my dear. You ask me who
Thank you
to
so
marry
much.
again, she'll be the same. Thanks, my dearest.
Thank you
You
so
keep
much,
well.
Abutisemi. We've enjoyed this time with you. And thank you everyone for the comments. They are lovely. Obakwetsi Milomo, for the first time, my audience didn't have a lot of comments. They didn't have a lot of questions. Why thinking? You must come back. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Thank you, my dear Tata.